morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Today's Spine Safe mat class is going to be using a foam roller and apparently a cat. So, Carmela, and we're going to start by placing the foam roller widthwise across the mat. So just place it at the top of the mat, and we'll swing our legs around. And then use your abdominals and use your arms, maybe forearms on the roller, to lower yourself down to about this area of your bra strap line. So just opposite the center of your chest. And just to let you know, this should feel, good-ish. It should not feel painful. If it feels painful, it's probably not the right hardness of roller for you to be using. So if it feels okay to lean back and support your head in your hands, interlace your fingers, lengthen the back of the neck without lifting your head, and then engage your buttock muscles and lift your hips. And then use your legs to roll up and down on the roller. So you can go as far as the tops of your shoulders, but not on your neck. And then roll down. You can go past your bra strap line, but just be careful about going into your waist. We have ribs that are not as well attached, right? We've got our false ribs and floating ribs once you get past the bra strap line. So we just need to be very, very careful about those ribs. Okay. So the cat has decided not to participate today, so I'll turn around. Let's do a few more. Okay, and then set yourself at about the bra strap line. Set your hips down. Keep the back of your neck long. You're going to wing your elbows in a little bit without pulling on your head. And just lean back over the roller and see if that feels okay. And see if you feel a stretch in your chest and your upper abdominals. And then from here, take a breath. As you exhale, think about bringing your ribs back into the roller and float the front of your ribs down and come up to neutral, not to flexion, but just to neutral. So we'll be going back behind ourselves here over the roller and then using our breath and coming up. So this will be a mild bit of work for the upper abdominals. We lay back over the roller and come up. Your head and neck are staying in the same position, held by your hands. So we'll just do a few more. And if you feel like it's too much, you can go closer toward the tops of your shoulder blades. You can do that anyway if you feel you've got a spot that needs a little extra attention, and you could go down further, closer to the bottoms of your ribs to get more range, as long as that feels comfortable and safe. So we'll just do a couple more. Inhale over the roller. Exhale up. Good. Inhale and exhale. Great job. And we'll just lift up our hips. Do one more little roll up and down. And then go ahead and just come to the side. Use your arm, press up to sitting. Okay. So from here, we'll take the roller and place it underneath our hips. So how we do that is we'll lay down on our side and come onto our back. And then the roller goes underneath the bend of your legs. Okay, so we'll go ahead and lift up our hips and then pull the roller underneath and have it be right above your tailbone and below your waist. Okay, now this is a little bit of an elevation. So if you feel like that's putting too much pressure on your neck or chest or shoulders, then you can do this bit without the roller or just place a pillow underneath. You got the roller underneath there. Place your palms on the flat ends of the roller and then draw your shoulder blades down. So you kind of got this tripod of support. So keeping belly in, you may or may not be feeling a stretch in your thighs right now. Then go ahead and take a breath. And as you exhale, bring one leg up and then the other. You can float your knees in a little closer. And then we'll go into our toe taps here. And the goal is not to touch the mat. The goal is to bring your thigh away from you, and without changing the bend of the knee, you just feel your abs working here. So we'll just do some little toe taps. If you get to the floor, fine. If you don't get to the floor, fine. We want to make sure that as you're breathing and moving, that your back is staying the same, right? We're not extending or flexing in our spine. We're just allowing all of our stabilizer muscles to kind of support us and work. Okay, so one more on each side. Perfect. And then let's go ahead and take your right leg up toward the ceiling. Great. And bring it down toward the mat. And when you reach that point where you feel like you've got a little pull in the belly, stop. Bend your knee to bring your foot the rest of the way down. And there's a stretch in your quad. And then slide the ball of your foot all the way as close to your bum as you can and bring that leg up. Okay, good. Now let's try the other leg. Bring the left leg up, lower it down. Right about the point where you start to feel a little pull, bend the knee. You've got a little stretch here, slide your foot, and then bring that leg back in. So now let's just alternate legs. This is our bicycle. So we're gonna lower and then bend, find the stretch, slide your foot in, bring it up. And it's best if you do this just very slowly to really catch that point. Where is it that I need to stop to get my stretch? Okay, so we can really be thinking about it. Alternating legs, so we'll do one more on each side, doing one leg at a time. Okay, last one. Okay, great. Now, both legs up toward the ceiling. Good. And as we lower one leg, we're going to experience now a hamstring stretch in the other leg. As you pull the leg in, start to lower the other leg, right? So now instead of doing one leg at a time and switching, we're going to flow between the two sides. So it's a big, delicious, gigantic bicycle stretching our hamstrings and our quads. I'll just do that a couple more times in this direction. And then without thinking about it too much, we need to change directions. Okay, so if you've got one foot down, one leg high, now to change directions, the leg on the floor goes forward, the high leg bends, and then you've got to use more belly strength to pick up the long leg. Okay, so changing directions, we just keep breathing, keep your shoulders down. Just do a couple more. Even out your sides. Perfect. Bring both knees in. Perfect job. Now both legs up toward the ceiling again. Just cross your right ankle above your left thigh and then allow your left knee to bend and allow your legs to just kind of float in using gravity for our figure four stretch. So that's a pretty nice stretch up here on the roller, I think. Just take a few breaths. If it feels like a lot, you can always kind of push your leg away and bring it back in. Give yourself a little bit more active stretch. Another breath. We'll unwind, bring both legs up toward the ceiling. Left ankle on top of the right thigh, and then allow the right leg to bend in and let gravity take you into the figure four stretch. So breathing, just pay attention to how things are feeling in your joints. You can take your leg away and toward and do that little rocking action if you feel like that helps. Now, if you've got one side that's tighter than the other, go ahead, bring your legs back up and go back to that same side, right? That's tighter. If that was the last side we just did, just repeat. So, and just for your personal practice, if you do have a tighter side, start with that side, do the other side, come back to the tighter side in your personal practice until you find one day magically they've evened up. It's very cool. It really does happen. Okay. So let's go ahead now and take one more breath. Unwind, legs up toward the ceiling. Good. Now recommit to holding on to the flat ends of the roller. Shoulders are down, back of the neck is long. Take a breath. Squeezing your thighs together. Exhale, lower your legs. Slow, 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 slow. Then inhale, bring them up. Good. Two more. Exhale, lower your legs. Inhale, bring them up. And then one more. Exhale, lower your legs. Inhale, bring them up. Now let's reverse the breathing. Three more. As we inhale, lower the legs. Exhale, pull the belly in and bring them up. Inhale, lower the legs. Exhale up. Inhale, lower the legs. Exhale up. Beautiful job. All right. So now let's go ahead and bend our knees in. Right. Then use belly strength to stabilize your torso and lower one leg and then the other. And then we'll just sort of roll the roller out from underneath us until it's underneath the bend of our knees and have it just stay on the roller underneath the bend of your knees for now. Okay. So we'll nod our chin, make sure the back of the neck is long, shoulders are down your back. And let's press down into the mat and lift your hips up using your buttocks. So if you know you've got bone density loss, it's best to keep your shoulder blades and rib cage down and do a smaller lift. If you don't, you can do a higher lift. And we'll keep moving with our breath. So let's do inhale down, exhale up, and inhale down, and exhale up. So we're not really touching down. You just kind of feel like you're lowering and lifting, and lowering and lifting, and pretty soon you'll feel, in addition to your buttock muscles, your hamstrings working. Yeah. And hopefully your knees and all the other body parts are feeling okay about it. Just working on some buttock strength or glute max. Good. And one more. Good. And then we'll lower on down. Okay. So now let's roll the roller underneath our feet. So we've got the roller underneath the soles of the feet. And for just a moment here, let's just take a pause and roll back and forth. So you can figure out where is the best position for your roller. Start with your toes on the roller, roll forward with your hips down on the floor until your legs are straight and your heels are on the roller, and then bend your knees. So we're thinking footwork on the reformer, right? We're just rolling the bottoms of our feet, extending our legs completely, and then bending the knees. Now see if you can find your abs here. Inhale to extend, exhale, pull in. Now see, when you inhale to extend, as you start your exhale, if you can make your legs light on the roller and get a little bit more belly in there. Inhale, extend, exhale. And last one, inhale, extend, exhale. Very nice. And we'll walk the roller back in to where the back of your arches close to your heel is on the roller. And we do want to have the arch on. And then take a breath here. You're pressing into the mat with your arms. So we can flip our palms open. Pull into belly, pull up your pelvic floor, engage your buttocks, lift your hips. And then lower. And lift. And lower. So let's do 8 more here. And keep breathing. And lift. And lower. And you notice that it's a little bit more hamstring now. So that's because the roller wants to roll away as we lift. So our hamstring has to engage a little bit more behind our knee joint in order to keep it in place. And 9 and lower, and 10 and lower. Nicely done. Very good job. So now let's go ahead and roll the roller a little closer to us so that we can get our feet off of it. And it's underneath the bend of your knee. And we'll just keep our arms down, palms open, neck long, and then pull into belly, pull up pelvic floor, engage your buttock muscles, and come up into a bottom lift or a bridge, a shoulder bridge that's as high as you can safely do it. And so then transfer your weight to your left leg. And then transfer your weight over to your right leg. So we're doing a lateral slide. Try to make sure that your hips aren't dipping as you do this. If you're not sure, place your hands on your pelvis and just kind of feel whether you have a sense of whether your hips are staying level or not. Notice if one has a little bit more challenge than the other. It's completely normal. I'm kind of feeling the backs of my arms on the mat with my elbows lifted to help with a little bit of sensation of where, you know, my hips might be in space, lacking a mirror on the ceiling. You know, we can't really see, right? So, and then we'll come back to center and then come on down. And then let's go ahead and just gather our knees into our hands for a moment and take your knees around in mirror image circles. So big knee circles, stirring our femurs and the hips. And just go ahead and go the other direction. Perfect. Now, we'll take our feet back down, and this time let's take the roller out from underneath our knees. Okay, so now we're going to hold it in our hands. So now we have this frame of the roller above us, above our chest, and your knees are still bent, feet flat on the mat, shoulders are down on the mat. So let's reach up and pull down a couple of times and just find where that place is, where our shoulders are down on the mat and the roller's over the chest. Back of the neck long, faces resting and lovely, and take a breath. Exhale, engage glutes, pull up pelvic floor, and lift your hips up. As you lift your hips up, bring the roller down and make the roller on your thighs and give it a little press. Pull into your abs there. And then articulate down and lift up the roller back to over your chest. So we'll start with exhaling to lift and press and find your abs there, and then roll on down. So this is a little variation of Joe's breathing, which we do on the Cadillac with a roll down bar and springs, and our feet in the trapeze fuzzy. And right here, we're on the trapeze. And right here, we're doing it with, you know, just a roller, right? So pretty good. $30 roller instead of a $4,000 piece of equipment. I'd say that's pretty nice. Although I do love my $4,000 piece of equipment. And one more. Perfect job. Okay. So now we'll just go ahead and keep the roller over your chest, right? And lift up your hips. Heel toe your feet together as much as you need to be to feel like you've got both glutes engaged. Shift your weight over to your left leg. Bring your right leg up and then put it back down on the mat. Shift to the right leg. Bring your left leg up and put it back down on the mat. Now notice as you do the shift, whether you're able to keep the roller, you know, horizontal respective to your body, and we'll keep moving from side to side here, right? And feel whether you have a sense of your hips staying level. Moving side to side. Let's do one more on each side. Lift and lower. And lift and lower. Beautiful job. Recenter and recommit to your bridge, and then we'll roll on down. Perfect. So now let's take the roller overhead and bring it back down to your thighs and take it overhead. And I've got to move down a little bit. I have things in the way. So notice where, when you take the roller overhead, you're feeling a stretch in your abdomen, in your chest, and where your rib cage wants to lift, okay? So make it small enough that you can stay connected in your ribs to the mat as you go overhead. And then we'll begin by bringing the roller back over your torso, lift your right leg, bring the roller over your thigh, and then extend your right leg with both arms carrying the roller overhead. So just do that, 3 times here. So I'm just gonna extend the right leg, left foot still on the floor, and bring the your thigh in close and your shin under the roller, okay? And then we'll change sides. So left leg comes up, roller comes over the shin, and we extend and bend, and just 3 times. And just notice where that range is. Perfect. All right. So now we can do that with one or both legs in tabletop again. So if you want more, bring your legs into a closed tabletop. When we bring the roller overhead, extend one leg, bring the roller back over your shins, extend the other leg, bring the roller back. Okay. So working from this very close tabletop position, we can give ourselves a little bit of a chance to get into our abs with our head down. Now, of course, if you do not have bone density loss or disc issues, you can roll your head, neck, and shoulders up, and then you've got to change your range in your upper body not to go past your cheekbones, right? Okay, so, and then if you need more challenge with the head up or down, try extending both legs. So both legs extend and then come back in. When you extend, go ahead and pause for a moment, whether it's one leg or two, feel the work, and then come back in. 4 more, whatever you're doing, single or double leg. And come in, keep breathing, extend, and come in. 2 more. Watch your neck, make sure your neck is staying nice and soft. If it's starting to tension, that means your legs are too low or extending too far away from your body. Last one. Perfect job. Let's go ahead and just bring our feet down. Place the roller down. Don't lose your roller. And take your knees from side to side. So legs together, knees from side to side. You can go and sway from side to side, or you can hold the stretch. Let's do 1 more on each side. Perfect. That was nicely done, everybody. So now we'll lift and lower our hips to organize our spine again. Yeah, and let's take the roller back underneath the bend of your knees, because it's so much fun to do this. Back of the neck is long, shoulders are down, and then place the roller underneath the soles of your feet. So just FYI, make sure that you're not too far away from yourself, right? So get your knee flexion where you can do a little bottom lift here. And go ahead and take a breath. Pull up your pelvic floor into your belly, engage your buttocks, lift your hips. Then from here, roll the roller back and forth. If you're not getting enough range, you can always kind of step it away and roll it back and forth. What we need to be careful of here is if you do feel discomfort, like a line around your knee, that's an indicator that your knee joint is not happy. And so you may stop doing it with your bottom lifted and lower your bottom down and just do your footwork again with your feet on the roller. And 1 more. Well, that was maybe not as much fun. So now let's go ahead and grab the roller with your feet and hand it to yourself. And again, we'll take the roller up in our hands, pull your shoulders down your back. So do a couple little shoulder slaps here and just see if we can organize ourselves. And we'll bring our knees into our closed tabletop. Now place the roller on your shins. Dorsiflex your feet like they're standing. And then there's a sweet spot where you can have the roller in mid-shin. And it's not resting on the tops of your feet. So if you have your feet dipped down a little bit and you're just resting the roller on the top of your feet, that's going to be super easy, right? So yeah, that's right. So we'll have the roller in mid-shin, so it's a balancing act. Now, if you need extra support in your back, you can slide your hands under your bum, okay? If you are okay, like no bone density loss, with an upper body lift, you can lift up your head, neck, and shoulders, supporting your head and your hand. And then everybody slide your legs out and come back in. Yep. Slide out and come back in. And sliding out. Are you breathing? If not, here's a good time to start. And sliding, whoops. See, it's not easy. I'm sliding out. And then come back in. Let's do one more. Inhale and exhale. Perfect job. And then go ahead and have your hands at the ready. Lift up your shins and roll the roller into your shins, or into your hands, excuse me. All right, that was fun. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and roll to one side. We'll get up and we'll place the roller on the mat crosswise, and then let's swing our legs over the roller so that your back of your thighs, not your knee joint, is on the roller. And let's see if we can have our hands behind us, supporting us. If you have a difficulty bearing weight on your wrists, this one may not be, be for you to lift up, but you could lift up and roll back and forth and get your hamstrings massaged. If that's not going to work for you because of wrist tenderness, go ahead and just stay with your bum down and just go side to side with your thighs, and then find a different spot and go side to side with your thighs like so. Okay, so two different ways that we can do a little, what's called, it's a fancy word, self-myofascial release for our hamstrings. So we know we've got more than one area of hamstring, so do it with both toes pointed one direction. That'll get your lateral hamstring on one side and the medial one on the other, and then point your toes the other direction. We'll do a little bit of hamstring release work, and then we'll be done with that. So that was nicely done, everybody. So now we've got the roller across the mat here, and let's go ahead and we'll start in quadruped. Okay, so if your back does not like to be an extension, or if there's a reason for you not to back bend, okay, this is where you'll be. So you could do your shoulder blades like this, pulling your shoulder blades down and then letting your shoulder blades elevate on your knees. If you're okay laying on your belly, and even if you need to put a pillow underneath your abdomen to be more comfortable laying on your belly, go ahead and lay on your belly, and then take your forearms on the roller, and we're looking straight down at the mat so the back of the neck is long. Engage your abdominals, engage your buttocks, and kind of press your pubic bone into the mat. And then we're going to roll the roller back and forth without lifting much yet, right? So we just get our shoulder blades moving up toward our ears and then down toward our mid back. So just do that a couple more times. Get your shoulder blades moving. Good. And then we're going to bring the roller a little closer to the elbow, okay, so that you can bend your elbow and then pull into belly, and again, engage your buttock muscles. And as you pull your shoulder blades down, right, begin to bend your elbows, and then you can lift up into a lovely swan and then come back down, still pulling into belly, okay? Now we lift up and we come down. If this feels at all pinchy in your back or your shoulder, you're welcome to just put your hands down on the mat and press up from the mat instead, right? Or you could be doing a simple postural hold instead, okay? Let's just do a couple more here of any of the variations of back bends. Beautiful job. And then we'll just get rid of the roller toward the front of the mat. Place your hands on top of each other and put your forehead on top of your hands just to rest down for a moment. And from here, with your forehead on your hands, just pull into belly, pull up pelvic floor, use your buttock muscles to press your hips down into the mat, and bend your right leg. See if you can bend your right leg enough that you feel like you could almost kick yourself in the booty. And then lengthen your right leg down toward the mat. And then bend your left leg. So get a sense of whether you're feeling a stretch in the front of your thigh, and then lower it back down. And again, bend the right leg, and then see if you're able to keep your hips from moving when you bend your right leg and lower it down, and bend the left leg and lower it down. Now bend your right leg if you want to proceed along here, and kind of kick yourself towards your rear end. And then as you extend the right leg, lengthen it, and then bend the left leg, kick, and then lengthen your leg. So this is our single leg kicks, and we'll keep moving with that idea. So the important ideas are to keep your hips stable, get the stretch in the quad, and to lengthen your leg as you're extending it down, okay? So if we want to increase our challenge and we're okay with back bending, place your forearms on the mat, make fists, press into the mat, drag your chest forward through your forearms, stay high, kick, 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 right? So if you're finding that these changes cause your pelvis to start doing a lot of movement, or your spine doing a lot of movement, just go back to the previous variation. We'll do one more. And then we'll go ahead and everybody lowers back down again. One cheek on the mat. Wiggle your hips back and forth. We'll place our hands somewhere on our back. You can kind of interlace your fingers together a little bit, okay? So with your head down, kick yourself in the booty 2 times with both legs, and see if you're able to do that without your pelvis moving significantly. And as you lower your legs, lift up your head, neck, and shoulders and arms. And then as you lower down again, turn your head, rest on the other cheek, kick, kick, and then come back up. So we have our double leg kick. And then if it feels like it's too much to kick, like I still feel pretty unstable because of tight quads, right? Just bend both knees, hold the stretch, and then go ahead and come up and put the other cheek down, and you can just bend your legs, hold the stretch, and then come up. So let's do one more on each side, any variation. You can do the kick, kick, and kick, kick, and then go ahead and rest down. Wiggle your hips back and forth for a moment, and then we'll press up into a plank, right? I know, where'd that come from? So put your forearms on the mat, lift up your knees and legs with your toes tucked, pull into your belly, and press up into a plank. So there you have it. And it's okay to pike your hips a little bit if you're feeling like your low back is needing a little extra love and help. Okay, and then bring your knees down, walk your arms back, walk your knees forward, and we'll take our knees apart for a wide-legged child's pose. So we can stack our fists on each other now and put our foreheads on our stacked fists. And just take a couple of breaths here, stretching out your low back. So we'll take one more breath. And then we'll come on up into quadruped. So in our all fours position, let's start with a little cat cow. So we'll exhale, arch your back toward your ceiling. Inhale and gently let your belly drop toward the floor. So it's exhale and arch. And inhale. Okay. So now for most of us, our rib cage area of our spine is the one that we have the most ability to arch toward the ceiling. So for those of us that are working on our posture, and if we are, having any issues with discs and whatnot, like we can minimize the arch toward the ceiling and the drop toward the floor just kind of find this middle ground where we can oscillate our spine, get the benefits of the pumping action, and have a little bit more gentle experience. So I like to think about initiating this from the hips. So if you tuck your tail and then untuck your tail, you see the rest of your spine will follow, but then you'll emphasize that spot in your low back that most of us feel that gets tight. Okay, and one more. Just some things to think about. All right, now we're going to have a challenge exercise next. So this one has the roller underneath our shins. And again, if your wrists are not happy here, I don't recommend using a fist. What I would recommend instead is going down to forearms, which is going to be a lot of load on the shoulder. Okay, so we won't be here for very long. We will not belabor this. So pull up into your belly, set your shoulder blades down, and pull your knees in underneath you, and then extend your legs. Don't let the roller go into your knees or past your kneecap, okay, or into your kneecap. All right, so we're just going to do 6, and there's 3. So it's massaging the muscle in the front of your shin. We'll call it massage because many people don't find this to be very pleasant. But if you pull up into your belly and lighten the weight of your legs on the roller, you might find that you're getting more belly and a little bit less shin. And then we'll go ahead and just kick that roller underneath us again. We'll let that go. So it's like our reverse knee stretch. Sit up, and it's time to do some standing work. Stand at the front of your mat, and just if the roller's underneath your right hand, you'll shift toward the roller a little bit. Okay, so engage your right buttock. So just practice shifting for a second. Make sure the hip is not dropping. We're going to push down into the floor with our standing leg, and then lift the other leg, keeping your hips stable. So the glutes on this standing side are totally squeezing. The roller's just there for a little balance aid. Knee stays in the same place in space. Extend and bend your knee 10 times. So we're working as we go straight forward. Our wonderful rectus femoris, our quad muscle. And we're also working some balance. So you can feel the glute, and you can also feel probably the lower leg on the standing leg side. And 8, 9, 10. Good. Now take this leg that was just waving about in the air. Carefully step it back, landing on your toes, and zip up from pubic bone to navel to sternum so that you feel a nice stretch in that leg. Good. So now once you've got your balance established here, pick up the roller, hold it by each flat end, and see if it's okay to bring it overhead, okay, within reason. So set your shoulders down so it's okay for it to be kind of in front of you, okay? And then as you inhale, side bend, and exhale, come to center. Inhale, side bend. Exhale, come to center. Good. Inhale, side bend. Exhale, center. Inhale, side bend. Exhale, center. Bring the roller down. You can place it back down on the floor on the other side and step that stretching leg forward and just shake it out for a moment. Good. Now we've got the roller under the left hand. The left leg will be standing. Shift toward the left. Engage all your buttock muscles. Press down into the floor. Lift your other leg. And extend and bend 10 times. I like to count on my fingers so that I don't have to occupy my brain with things like counting repetitions. And somebody I was working with the other day discovered that as she was doing an exercise, she said, I just figured out I can count on my fingers. I was like, that's the best trick ever. And then go ahead and step back, carefully land on your toes, zip up pubic bone to navel to sternum, roll your shoulders back and down to find the stretch. Once you're stable, got your stretch, bring the roller up, hold on to the flat ends of it, and bring it to what feels like a decent overhead for you, your shoulders and all. And then we'll inhale a side bend. Exhale, center. Inhale, side bend. Exhale, center. Good. Inhale, side bend. Exhale, center. Inhale, side bend. Exhale, center, and bring the roller down. Bring it down to the first side, okay, and step your stretching leg forward. So now we've got the roller back underneath your right hand. We'll shift our weight over to the right side, engage your buttock muscles, okay, bring your left leg up, and then externally rotate it. So you've got kind of this frog leg now. Now extend the leg straight forward, so you're still heel in, toes out, and then bend, right? So you're working on a different muscle. This is your inner or your medial quadricep, the vastus medialis, okay? And it feels different, right? So this is the one that we really need to work on, straightening our knee, especially if we've had any kind of knee surgeries or knee mishaps, getting the leg straight. And that muscle, when we have a mishap in our knee, becomes easily atrophied because our knee swells and then we can't straighten our leg, and muscles that don't get used. And last one, okay, and then go ahead and step back, land on your toes, zip up, pubic bone to navel to sternum. And once you've got your stability, step back, take your roller, have it be in front of you in front of your chest this time, okay? Inhale and rotate. Exhale, center. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. We'll do 3 more sets. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep breathing. Okay, we've got 1 more set left here. My fingers forgot to count this time. Last one. Perfect job. And then bring the roller down. Okay. Place it on the other side under your left hand. Step forward. Great. So now shift, engage, pull in, and lift your other leg. Externally rotate it and then extend it straight forward, maintaining that external rotation. So we've got 10 times. We can feel clearly it's a different muscle working. Good. Keep breathing. Shoulders are backing down. Maybe lift the corners of your mouth. And 8, 9, 10. Carefully step that leg back. Land on your toes. Zip up. Pubic bone, navel, sternum. Find the stretch. Find your stability. And then take the roller. Hold it by the flat ends. Good. And then we'll inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. So we did 4 sets, right? Breathe to the side. Exhale to come back to center. Last one on each side. Perfect job. Bring the roller down. Good. And step forward and just take your legs into little, knee bends here. Okay. So now, if your legs are about hip width apart, place your hands, just let the roller aside, place your hands right on the bump of your hip joint. So not the top, but the side. And then let your hips go around in a circle. Okay, that's good. So we'll do about 5 in each direction. And you can feel that the hip joint, you can feel the trochanter actually pressing into your hand on each side. And let's go the other direction. So these are some hip circles from Qigong that my mentor, Dr. Tom Hendrickson, taught us before we would do our manual therapy lessons when we were in school. And it's very, very good for your hip joint to do these and your low back. And when you're done with that, do your little massage here on the side, and then take your hands to your back and just massage the back a moment. Okay, that's just a little self-care. And we'll have a little fun with the roller lengthwise on the mat. So getting on and off the mat, of course, we need to be really careful. Sitting on top of the mat, making sure that you're not compromising your tailbone. And then slide yourself forward enough that you're at the end of the mat. Use your abs and your arms and kind of plank back, okay? And then we'll lay down and take your legs far apart. Okay, that's good. And I'm just going to be using the more safe variation up here, as I'm a couple of feet off the floor. So you can, you know, do things like arms up overhead if that's something that is pleasing to you today. We'll start with our hands down on the mat, elbows bent. Next is a robot arm. Bring your right leg up into tabletop and organize your left leg in standing in a way that feels like it's helping you support your body. Good. And then go ahead and extend your right leg and bend it a few times and just feel how that is and feel where you need to aim in the room to have an even contraction of your abdominals and your back. So supporting you. So you're not arching your back, but both sides of your abdomen are working. Let's try the other leg. Also feel where your weight bearing is in your elbows as you do this action. So if you feel like you're really sliding onto your opposite elbow, that's just good to know. See if you can even out the pressure of your elbows on the mat. We'll just do a couple more, extend and bend. Good, put that leg down. Now let's bring your right leg up to tabletop and bring your left arm up. And if you can bring your right arm up, go ahead. Okay, so your goal is to stay on top of the roller today, just FYI. And we'll extend the right leg and the right arm slightly overhead, so keeping it in front of your cheekbone, and then bring them on back. Okay, so if you are able to lift your left elbow off the mat so that it's just, you know, hovering above the mat, that's good. If you can get your left arm up toward the ceiling, that's good. And if you need to keep your left elbow, or you need to keep your right elbow down, that's fine. I'm sorry, I think I said left elbow, I meant right. You knew what I meant, right? Opposite. It's opposite arm and leg reach. And two more here. Perfect job. Bring all limbs down, and then we'll take our arms out and just give ourselves a little chest stretch for a moment. You can also, the leg that was just working in the air, stretch that out along the floor, and your leg will drop below the level of the foam roller, and you might find a little bit of a stretch there in your thigh. Then we'll bring all our limbs back in. Take a breath, exhale, engage your core, and bring your left leg up and the right arm up. And then if you can lift your left elbow or bring both arms up, go ahead. I'm going to keep mine down because it's safe. And go ahead and reach. I was just laughing because I'm thinking, should I tell them if I fall off the edge to just call 911 or? No, we won't do that. We're just not going to fall off the edge. That's all. So I like to say a little fear is good for the core. So that's 5 of 10. Just kidding. And 6. Keep breathing. So you find kind of a nice rhythm here. You find a diagonal across your belly and pull it tight. And 2 more. And Last one. Perfect job. Then all limbs down, lower your leg. And then using belly to keep everything stable, slide your leg out. You can get the nice stretch in front. Yeah. Taking a nice breath here. Let's bring our limbs back in. Now take your legs wide. Good. And then take your arms up toward the ceiling and reach up and pull your shoulder blades down and around the roller. Okay, good. Now inhale and open your arms and don't let them drop below the level of your body, and then exhale, bring them back in. So for hug a tree. Now, the wider your legs are, the more of a base of support you have. So for more for more core work, bring your legs progressively closer together. Okay, because we're going to go to one arm at a time in a second here. So, so when you bring your legs closer together, make sure that your ankles and your knees are the same distance apart. So if you're tripoded, that is really kind of a cheat, right? So they need to be parallel, same distance. So ready? Here we go. Take your left arm out to the side and you feel the diagonal on the left. Let's stay with the left out to the side for 4 times. So you can really map that diagonal that you're feeling, which is right low ab to left rib cage. The right low ab pulls in to keep you from going to the left to follow your arm. Now we'll switch arms. Right arm out to the side, and you feel the other diagonal. So pull into your left low ab with the right arm flowing out to the side and back to center. You're breathing, just focusing on the left low ab to right rib cage diagonal. One more. Beautiful. Now, taking both arms overhead, relative overhead, cheekbone height is okay. Open them out and swoop them down towards your legs. And overhead, open and swim down towards your legs. So 2 more like this. And then we're going to move to one arm at a time. Starting with your arms in first position over your chest. One arm comes overhead and swims around. And then switch arms. The other arm goes overhead and swims around. You can feel as your arm moves out to the side again, there's some stabilization that has to happen. So just keep breathing and pull into your core, trust your core. So we'll do one more on each side. This is wonderful shoulder work anyway. So we're doing kind of a backstroke pattern. Perfect. Very nice. And then go ahead and take your hands, clasp them together and bring them up over your chest. And again, your legs are as close as you want them to be or as far apart as you need them to be. Now take your fists and make a little circle as if you were painting a circle on the ceiling with your fists. And notice what your body has to do in order to counterbalance that and keep you upright on the roller. And then we'll go the other direction. Circle the ceiling. Doing 5 in each direction. So 3, 4, and 5. Perfect job. And then hug yourself, take your legs apart and roll to one side of your spine and roll between your shoulder blade and your spine 3 or 4 times. And this will get the muscles up your mid back and your buttock and maybe a little bit of the low back and hip area, the sacral area. And then we'll go to the other side. Roll to the other side of your spine and go between the shoulder blade and the spine about 4 times. Perfect job. Then bring your arms down to the floor and whatever. I'm going to go to the other side because I have more room over there, but just go ahead and bring your hips down. And we'll lay down off the roller for a moment. I'm just going to get rid of the roller. Have it somewhere over. Just stick my knees on it for a moment. Just lay down for a moment. Take a breath. Take another breath. And your arms overhead. Stretch out through your legs. And then bring all your limbs back in. Let's roll to one side and press up. Okay. And it is time for our mermaid. So we'll go into our Z sit. Shoulders down your back. Corners of the mouth are lifted. Reach up for length. Take a breath and exhale. Come on over. Breathe here. Exhale, come up. See if you can find your balance. And then grasp your shin with your other hand and do a side bend for a counter stretch. And take another breath. Come back. Lower down gracefully and come back into your side stretch. You can stay here or you can move into rotation. Inhaling, opening your heart. Exhale, pull into belly and rotate. And just keep breathing. So we'll take several breaths here. And as we breathe, just see if you can kind of slide your shoulder blades down your back. Keep your face soft. Separate your teeth. You know, maybe lift the corners of the mouth and soften the muscles around your eyes. Notice that every time you breathe, you send your breath into your abdomen and your body will be stretching in response to your breath. It's like in yoga, we say breathe into your back. Well, technically you're breathing into your lungs, but you can feel the effects of your breath. So just see how that is and give yourself the opportunity to find some more room in your body. 2 more breaths here. Then we'll inhale to unwind. Exhale, come on up. Maybe we can balance. And then we'll switch our legs around. Good. So our support shoulder is integrated. We've got our other arm up for length. Breathe in. And exhale over. Inhale here. And exhale, press up. And find your balance. Grasp your shin. Find your counter stretch. And come back, look down, find your stretch again. Decide if you want to stay here or go on into rotation. Inhaling, opening your heart, exhaling, deep exhale to find room to rotate the rib cage. And then just scan your body, starting with your eyes softening, jaw softening, teeth separating. Corners of the mouth lifting, breathing, shoulders slide down. And send your breath into your body in a way that feels like you're able to access any areas that are tight and holding. We'll do a couple more breaths here. And then we'll inhale to unwind. Exhale, come up, maybe balance. And then we can just remember to keep our abs in and our shoulders back and down until I see you again. And you all did a great job.